Satan! Satan! Satan!
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to episode 57 here on my random horror review series. I am your host Mood616 and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, episode 57 is here and I've got one all the way from 1989, taking it back to 89. This is a film actually that is a first time watch for me. I've had this one on a wish list to buy for so long, and I finally found a really good price, like a couple bucks for this, and it was brand new, couldn't pass it up. So I watched it, I thought, why not do a random review? That's what the series is all about, right? So anyways, guys, from 1989, this one is called Night Visitor. Now, if you're looking at that cover art there, yes, it is a satanic type film, so as you can probably tell by the cover art. Now, this one right here has got a lot of familiar faces and pretty cool. You got Elliot Gould, Alan Garfield's in this one, Michael Pollard, Shannon Tweed, Derek Rydell, and Richard Roundtree. Fucking Shaft is in this movie. Actually, the main character played by Derek Rydell, he actually played in Popcorn, actually. I remember him from Popcorn, so. But yeah, lots of familiar faces in this one, pretty cool to see. Yeah, so getting into the synopsis of this one, basically this movie follows your main character, Billy Colton. Now, Billy is what you would call a type of person that is, he's kind of a liar. He likes to tell stories. He's basically the boy that cried wolf. And that has basically made him burn a lot of bridges with a lot of different people and got himself into a lot of trouble with everyone around him because he cannot simply tell the truth. Now, one day, you know, Billy's having, well, not just one day, but Billy's having a lot of problems at school, being on time and things like that. So he gets himself into trouble, he gets suspended, and he gets sent home. Now, while he's at home, he's kind of doing his own thing, and he notices that he's getting a new neighbor, played by Shannon Tweed. Now, he kind of sparks up a relationship with Shannon Tweed. You know, he's kind of, you know, flirting with her, she's kind of flirting with him and stuff like that, and they kind of have this little thing going on. And, you know, Billy figures, you know, he's going to start to spy on her a little bit. Well, you know, he's up in his room, he's got some free time to do that. So he breaks out his telescope, starts spying on her. And this goes on for a few days and things like that. And he's starting to notice that, you know, there's a lot of different guys that are coming in and out of the house and things like that. So he starts to figure that maybe she's a hooker. And he wants to prove it to his friends that, you know, his new sexy blonde bombshell of a neighbor is a hooker. So he calls over his friends one night, and of course it doesn't go as planned, and they just think that he's lying, of course, and stuff like that. So anyways, another night goes by, he starts watching her again, and he notices that she might be in trouble, that she quite possibly is, you know, getting murdered in this satanic cult type way and things like that. So he tries to save her, doesn't go as planned, she gets murdered. And so, of course, the police are called in, Richard Roundtree. And, you know, he tries to explain to the police and his family and his friends and things like that, that it's a certain person. No one's having any of it because a certain person, which I'm not going to give away right now, you know, is, a professional type person, and, you know, no one's believing his story, of course, because Billy is the boy that cried wolf. So now it's up to Billy and one of his old dad's friends, who used to be a cop, played by Elliot Gould. You know, he calls him in because he was an ex-cop and things like that to, you know, kind of figure out and prove to everyone around him that this person is responsible for murdering his neighbor and a whole pile of other hookers around this small little town and things like that. So yeah, that is the long synopsis of the film without giving too much away. Now, my thoughts on this one. Basically what this movie is like a 70s satanic cult type film mixed up with Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window / Disturbia for the more modern horror fans, mixed in with a little bit of Fright Night. And what I mean by all that is, of course, this is like it plays completely out like a 70s satanic, you know, horror film. And it's got that rear view kind of Disturbia element of, you know, Billy getting grounded, or not grounded, but, you know, kind of suspended, stuck in his house. And it's that whole voyeurism type idea to it. Now, what I mean by Fright Night is there's a lot of elements of Fright Night. I don't want to give everything away, but of course, you know, just with the simple fact of something happening next door, and then he's gotta, you know, find this older gentleman, you know, to come and help him out, and things with his girlfriend are happening, and there's lots of elements of that. So you know, you kind of throw all those things into a bag, mix it up, and you got Night Visitor, which is very, very cool. Now, my thoughts on the actual film. I thought this was very enjoyable. It's got a great start to the film. The first 40 minutes of the film play itself out very dark, and it's got this very kind of low key kind of 70s vibe to it. You know, the film starts out with like this car that's, you know, basically abducting hookers, and you know, and it's just got this really great music that's playing throughout it and stuff. And it hits the 40-minute mark, and it doesn't really slow down, but it really focuses on Billy's intentions of solving this crime, and you know, finding Elliot Gould's character and things like that. And a lot of it's during the day, and there's not really a lot of satanic business that's going on through the middle of the part of the film. And then the third act hits, and it picks right back up. It jumps right back into that kind of 70s level of satanicism and things like that. And it's got a really good end to the film. Overall, very enjoyable. One of the coolest things about this film is the music. It really does play its part in the beginning of the film and the end quite drastically. It's awesome. This one is a perfect combination of like 70s satanic film mixed in with an 80s blend perfectly. It's great. So when you watch the film, and if you have seen the film, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The acting overall is great. You know, Shannon Tweed's not in the film a whole lot because she is basically just the blonde bombshell that gets murdered, but you know, she is just fantastic. I wish Richard Roundtree was in the film a little more as a detective, because he's fucking Shaft, man. Shaft is awesome, but I wish there was a little more of him in the film because I love Richard Roundtree. I think he's fantastic. Yeah, Michael Poehler plays the brother of this, you know, the serial killer, if you want to call him. And he's really goofy. You know how Michael Poehler really is in real life. Like, he's just a really goofy type character in everything he plays, but he's very much that character as you know him in this one. And it is, you know, his brother actually refers to him as like a 12-year-old boy, or he's got the mind of a 12-year-old in one scene, so it's kind of funny. But, you know, overall, I enjoyed this one. Not a lot of, you know, killings and, you know, blood and gore in this one, but there is a couple parts. There's one really cool killing inside the house, kind of midpoint in the film. I thought it was executed. I thought just the way it was shot was actually really cool. I thought that was really well done and stuff. But, you know, this one isn't without its faults. There is a bunch of mess ups in the film just with continuity issues and things like that. But, you know, it's things that you would have to kind of like really notice to, you know, kind of nitpick like I am right now. But, you know, of course, there is a lot more good than there is bad in this one. I think the film does, like I said, it does slow down a little. It doesn't really necessarily slow down in the middle of the film. It's just, there's not a lot happening. And I think the one thing that kind of hurts this film a lot is that it starts out strong and it ends strong, but the middle is all during the day. There's just a lot of daytime shots, being in school, at his house, you know, just a lot of, you know, kind of going around, you know, talking with his friends and family and other people and stuff. So it's never really boring or anything, but it kind of takes away from that whole kind of darkness of the film and things like that. So, you know, it does drop a few points for me on that one. But overall, I do really recommend this one. I think this one is an interesting film that came out in 1989. There wasn't really a whole lot of films that were, you know, like this that coming out in the later 80s, because, you know, the 70s really did capture these films so well, and, you know, it is what it is. But Night Visitor, if I had to rate this one, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was really good, man. I thought it was really well done. But like I said before, Rear View mixed with like Fright Night, you know, mixed in with a total 70s satanic. If that interests you, check this one out, man. It's really fun. Had a blast with it, so Night Visitor. Don't really want to say anything else about it, but I really love the end. I love the very last shots in the film because it kind of plays out all dark, and then once it's kind of concluded itself, it just turns so 80s. It's just fantastic. So anyways, guys, that is going to do it for episode 57 here on my Random Horror Review series. Check you guys in episode 58, and as usual, peace out, homies.